Hey, hi, how are you? This was an exciting night because this is my first time using StreamYard. So bear with me. It was all me. It was all me. But I am excited tonight. I have Nurse Tasha Young and I have Nurse Charms here. We are excited. We're streaming on multiple platforms. We're on YouTube, Facebook, and we're on IG, obviously. So this is exciting. And welcome, welcome, ladies. How are you tonight? Thank you for helping me learn a new platform. I'm excited. I love to learn things. My mind is always wanting to, learn new things and try new platforms out, technology, which is what we're talking about tonight. So, how you ladies doing tonight?
I'm doing well. Happy New Year, ladies. Can we still say that? Like, I never know. Like, how long can you say Happy New Year? Because it was the first, today's the fourth. Can you say it to the end of the week? Can you say it until, like, come on? People be like, almost February saying Happy New Year. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure all of January, I'm definitely like Happy New Year, and then it's kind of like after that, you're in the new year now. So.
Yes, all right, sounds good to me. But yes, I'm doing well. I'm feeling healthy. I'm just happy and blessed, and I'm just so excited to be on your platform, Dr. Natasha. So yeah, I'm ready to just get into this discussion. And what's up, my girl Tasha? How are you, love?
Hi, ladies. It's so nice to be on the platform with you guys. My name is Tasha Young, registered nurse, MBA. Young Professional Consulting is my business. And so I'm just really excited to talk about the digital healthcare innovation tonight.
Yes. So we're going to introduce ourselves, but we want to know a little bit about you and your background. How did you discover nursing, and what was your decision, your determining decision to go into that direction on that journey?
Tasha, you want to start or?
Sure, I'll start. I'm originally from Virginia, Richmond, Virginia. I always wanted to be a nurse since my senior year in high school. Kind of had to take a detour, was a child bride, got married, was a military spouse. Around 2000, I began my prerequisites for nursing. I graduated an accelerated RN diploma program, got my BSN at University of Virginia, got my MBA, fell in love with business and consulting, took a very non-traditional route, also former Army nurse of 17 years in the Army Nurse Corps. And so I've had a really rich experience in nursing, and I moved to Atlanta in 2008, and that's where all of the magic started to happen with my career.
Awesome.
That's amazing.
So, similar to you, Tasha, I've always known that I wanted to be a registered nurse. My parents, they would have me reading encyclopedias. I was playing with microscopes. Then one day, as a teenager, I went to visit. I did a behind the scenes tour of an actual hospital, and it was like a whole program put together, like a take your child to work day, similar to that, except it was all students that were interested in the healthcare profession. So in a nutshell, we toured all the areas of the hospital, and afterwards I was just so excited. I came back, told my parents, like, oh my gosh, I want to be a nurse. And from there, the rest is history. Went through college. I had ambitions to be like you, a nurse practitioner, Dr. Natasha. I am literally 3 classes away, but unfortunately, when my mom passed away in 2013, it was just so rough for me. So I had stopped out the program, and then I just never went back. I don't know. I just kind of lost the desire. It was really hard for me to just cope with life after losing my mom. So unfortunately, I didn't continue that path, but I'm very happy what I'm doing now. I'm doing travel nursing, and I just love it. I'm also a serial entrepreneur. I own a hair extension company. I own a t-shirt company. What else do I do? Oh, massage. I own a massage company. I'm also a licensed massage therapist. People just be like, girl, you just do it all. I'm also a radio host. So like doing this interview with you, I'm always interviewing people. So it's kind of, I have to like kind of hold myself back a little because I'm on the other side. It's like I'm the guest, So anyways, I just do a lot. Like my whole thing is I just want to enjoy life and just do everything that is in my heart to do. So who knows? Y'all may see I'm doing something else another few years from now. I'm just gonna keep
And
it.
that's okay. That's what life is about, evolving. So that's the beauty of life. But I do want to know, how did you get into radio? That's interesting.
Girl, I know. It's like I never would have thought. First off, how did I even get into massage from nursing? How did I get into radio? Because I grew up a shy little girl, so it's like, how did I even end up getting into all this stuff? But you know, with being a business owner, I just started. You know, I had to promote my business, and I'm very well connected. I have a really pretty good network, so I have friends that were in the industry, so they would invite me onto their radio shows. I've been on almost every radio show in the city. Yeah, so people just took an interest to me, and like, you know, then next thing I know, they were asking me, do I want my own radio show? And so I was like, yes. You know, I was kind of nervous. I was just inviting guests on, and then finally I just kind of got comfortable, you know, hosting. So then I was able to elevate my nursing brand, because Nurse Charms is trademarked. I'm really just trying to be at the top of my game as a registered nurse. So being on the radio, it helped me a lot to grow my platform, you know, grow my reach. My Facebook statistics, I have like 5 million people, my reach, my posts and everything.
Nice.
So, yeah, I'm growing my YouTube channel. So yeah, I'm just really trying to be everywhere, doing everything, and really leaving my mark in this world as a nurse. So that's my thing.
Awesome. So let's talk about, well, before we get started, I am Dr. Natasha, nurse practitioner, born and raised in Detroit. I'm out here in California, living my best life. So I love Cali. I've met some amazing people, very welcoming, just introducing me to the world of media. I'm so thankful and blessed for that. I launched a healthcare business, Care First Wellness, a med spa. I particularly mostly do weight loss management and hair loss management, treating alopecia and doing PRP facials. And also you can utilize that treatment for hair loss as well. So I've been doing a lot of media training and getting my my journey started in media. So that's so excited. My dear friend, she's like a sister to me. We're doing a film project. She's a nurse practitioner as well. And that's to help expose and just highlight Black women in media and healthcare and advocacy, and just highlighting some critical concerns and some, you know, some things that will really motivate other women to step in a role of media, healthcare, pursuing their dreams. So in general, it's empowering for all.
It is.
But so that's what we're doing now. And I do invite people onto the platform routinely. I try to go live at least once a month, sometimes more if there's something going on a particular month where we have like nursing week or NP week. But it's been really exciting. I've really met a lot of people doing this. And like I said, I really appreciate you guys, because obviously we are doing this for volunteer, just to, you know, just spread some knowledge in the community, especially when it comes to technology and different things that are changing in the healthcare field. And tonight, particularly, we're going to be talking about different technology that is being used, particularly AI, artificial intelligence. And so there's so many topics and conversations that are happening surrounding this, because a lot of people are in a space where they're not really sure if they want to be all on board for that or not. But we're going to be discussing this. We're going to be discussing the big difference in healthcare as it relates to being in face and virtual. So we all know that virtual care has pretty much escalated, and it's enhanced by 57% since 2017. So the access to care improved significantly just being able to offer it virtually. But there's always pros and cons to everything. So let's hear what the ladies have to say.
Just before we get started in this dialogue, as you mentioned, we are volunteering our time. So for all of the viewers out there, we need you to like, follow, subscribe, share this video, okay? So it can get high up in the algorithm so people can get the full value of this conversation. It's going to be a dynamic conversation tonight. So please, please, please. And then leave all your comments. We'll circle back and read all your comments below, but please like, share, follow. You know, I always got to get the little promo out there. So yeah,
that's amazing. Yeah, and you guys, while we're talking, feel free to kind of like chime in and let us know where you are tuning in from. So I really do like that too. So
yeah, for sure. So the virtual versus traditional medicines, that's a topic that we're getting into, because I think COVID like really highlighted the whole virtual thing, but let's just be honest, it's been around since like the 1950s, you know, but it's more popular because it just became so convenient with COVID. I think it's nice because for me, working in the hospital, sometimes we'll get patients in and it's like, why are we even why did this patient even come to the unit? Like, what are we even doing? Like, I'm giving some medications, you know, they could have took these medications at home themselves. I'm like, I really don't understand. And it's like, you do all this paperwork, getting the patient admitted, all this paperwork in the computer, and then 24 hours later, they're getting discharged. So it's like with the whole telemedicine thing, it can prevent some of those inappropriate admissions, but it's kind of tricky though, because at the same time, you don't want people at home having a heart attack or having a stroke and they're like, well, they didn't just come in because they didn't know. But I believe that it can help catch some of those symptoms earlier, and then you could get, you know, treatment, and then it could prevent you from even coming into the hospital, because we know a lot of people use the emergency rooms as their doctor's office, right? You know, they just go, it could be anything. And it's like, you should have been seeing your doctor for this. You know, you could want your blood pressure pills refilled, you know, and that's really good that for the telemedicine. But yeah, let's get into some more pros and cons. Tasha, what do you think about it?
You know, I'm all for the technology.
I know.
That's one of the reasons. AI is the reason why my business is so successful in healthcare right now. And just, you know, helping providers, solo practice owners implement chronic care, remote patient monitoring programs, watching the AI ramp up. It is very effective at its early stages with identifying diseases because it has a lot more abilities to identify quicker and faster than the human I can. So AI is doing really well where it's doing well at in healthcare. And it's helping me, you know, expand my customer base as a consultant, because I'm an early adopter to AI. I was one of the first people who used ChatGPT, and it just really enhanced and created a lot of revenue, and it helped me learn more about automation. And so now, because I have really intermediate to basic level knowledge about AI tools and how to help automate, now I'm able to help small business owners, nurses, doctors, practices start their businesses with AI within minutes. Literally, I set up a VIP day. I created, you know, courses with AI. And so I like where it's going in healthcare with the identification and diagnoses, with the imaging, and with the utilization management. Is doing a really good job right now where it is.
I think you jumped ahead, but you good. You good.
We're initially starting off with basically virtual care versus in-person care, but those are some really interesting, you know, additions to the conversation, because I didn't realize that you were so advanced in technology, and just learning more about what some of those options might look like for people that are launching med spas and health and wellness centers. It's very important for you to stay abreast on those type of topics and options, because that will enhance your performance and be able to improve your access to care. But when, in terms of talking about access to care, and virtual care versus in person, many people might feel that it's difficult to get that same bedside manner when they're virtual. People might think that you might get a better, thorough assessment when you're face to face. So sometimes people might miss that option of being face to face, because now that post pandemic, many people are offering only telehealth. There's certain organizations that have only telehealth. So those are wonderful options. But what do you guys think? What is the feedback with your patients in regards to telehealth? Are they pro telehealth? Now, I am a telehealth nurse practitioner as well. I do see patients virtually, and I really enjoy what I do, but I do sometimes miss that face-to-face interaction. I love to greet my patients with a hug. I love to be able to see them, and I pick up on all of those different nonverbal communications even better when you're face-to-face. So I do miss that, but however, I think that being able to improve access to care, because people lack transportation, everybody has different social economic, differences. And so that can make a really great difference in terms of them receiving care or not when you can offer it virtually. But just trying to figure out what is some of the feedback from your patients.
I I've seen them use telehealth at the hospital. Actually, people think that it's only like office based, but no, they actually use it at the hospital as well. I mean, basically, you just get a doctor, on the iPad, and you just kind of FaceTime in with the patient. So they are using it at the hospital. I mean, just initially, it always sounds great. I think I identified some things, in terms of, it saves time, may save you a hospital visit, so that would be more convenient. And the accessibility, you can just go online. I mean, you can literally like Google, if your doctor doesn't personally offer telehealth, which I think every doctor should, you could just literally go online, and they have so many people that you can just pay. Like you could pay like a $50 fee or whatever, and you could just sign up and have this person. They have times and schedules. Yeah, you could just find somebody random to treat your symptoms, through. But I think some of the drawbacks are, like maybe the quality of care. Like I think Dr. Natasha, you kind of identified that a little bit in terms of like you're limited, if someone's having some vaginal symptoms, you know what I'm saying? Like you're not about to take a picture and be showing them, because it just might kind of cross the lines a little bit. I know you're a physician, and or physicians or nurse practitioners, I know that's what they do, but people may not feel comfortable with that. So you may have to kind of defer something like that and tell them to go to the hospital, so it's limited in terms of exams. It's definitely not suitable for emergency services. Like I said, if you're having a heart attack or stroke, you don't want to be online like, oh my gosh, I'm having chest pain, just go to 911. Everybody knows that standard, what we would do. And then sometimes like communication barriers, there's so many languages in this world. Not everybody speaks English. So, there may be some communication barriers. You're trying to do telehealth with a patient. So, I mean, there's some good things and there's some bad things. I think everyone just has to do what's best for them. I think millennials are drawn to it because millennials are all off into the, wait a minute, are y'all millennials? I'm up here talking about millennials. Are y'all millennials?
I'm Generation Y.
But yeah, I think millennials are really familiar. And they like stuff like that. But as far as the baby boomers, I ain't no baby boomer. As far as the baby boomers, I think they probably like traditional, like, no, I want to go see my doctor. I want my doctor. I got my stethoscope on today. I want my doctor to lay a stethoscope on my chest. You know what I'm saying? So it's that type of preference.
Well, I'm actually saying something different.
Yeah, Nurse Tasha, what was your insight? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I work more under Medicare and long-term in-home care line of work, and I'm seeing that it's a very valuable resource for people who are like in-home long-term care because they're not as mobile. And so a lot of the Medicare elderly population is starting to embrace telehealth more. And actually, there's some studies that show that it's just as effective in its outcomes as person to person with like diabetes, chronic condition management, hypertension with certain conditions. Telehealth has almost equal outcomes, but the elderly population is really embracing that because they're getting the immune systems are not as well to be in the office now. And so, and they're creating more devices that capture more, like they have the stethoscope, the remote stethoscope, they have more devices that can capture a lot of the clinical and healthcare data for physical exams. And so I'm all for it, because if it wasn't for telehealth expanding, I would not have been able to move to Mexico and create more opportunities for myself. And so I'm all for it. But like Charmaine said, the physical exam feature is still with some limitations. But with a lot of the chronic conditions, telehealth is just as good as being in person with the devices that they have.
So let's talk about these opportunities. How did you end up in Mexico, and what opportunities are you seeing based on the advancement and the availability of technology, telehealth?
Absolutely. So what landed me in Mexico was the pandemic really shifted me and my perception. I was just on this spiritual journey. I was kind of fed up. I was looking at retirement. Can I retire? Looking at finding cost of living. I'm like, so I had this moment, and so this light bulb went off, and it was like, instead of trying to find a cheaper place around the country, why don't you just leave the country? Why are we spinning our wheels? So somehow Mexico came, and so I did the research. I ended up in Mexico. I was still working for United Healthcare as a practice consultant, helping them with value-based contracts. And so I had my last corporate job in Mexico that I got fired from. And I already was doing work and had my business on the side. So during the pandemic, that opened up the door for virtual nursing assessments for waiver programs. So,
Wow. Okay.
I got with one waiver program, they needed initial assessments. And then I'm like, oh, this is a business, telehealth. So then I was working for different case management companies, and that opened up another door. I'm like, okay, what is this? What is all this in-home Medicaid waivers? And that
Awesome.
opened up a lot of doors. And so then I got into chronic care management by CMS.
Okay.
And then I start helping practices implement it. And now I'm consulting on retainers and I help physicians. So telehealth, because of telehealth, I was able to have all of these opportunities during the pandemic because they expanded it. So I didn't realize nurses were doing assessments, and I got on board. I was doing the nursing assessments, and I started networking with the agency owners, and they would connect me to the right people. And then I start learning AI, and then I start seeing that they had other needs and implementation. And so it just kind of opened up a lot of doors for me. And there's still a lot of doors open in telehealth with Medicare, because there's a lot of different reimbursements coming down the pike that are approved through their final rules with social determinants of health assessments. So yeah, the Medicaid waiver, in-home waiver business was really expanded with telehealth. And then I saw all of the opportunities in telehealth as a nurse entrepreneur.
Wow. So let's talk about artificial intelligence. People get really nervous about this, and there's been really, different sectors that have been affected differently. But when we're talking about healthcare, we can say that AI is making some really beneficial changes. It's been found that the accuracy rates of diagnostics in regards to mammograms and actually detecting breast cancer, that's improved significantly with AI. And even being able to use genetics and also breaking down different diagnoses and trying to figure out the outcomes of treatment, that has really, significantly, made an impact on that. So it sounds like that AI could be very powerful, and also used in the future. So it enhances the outcomes of treatment. There's always pros and cons. So what are some of your thoughts on AI? And it sounds like you have a lot of experience with AI in regards to helping different businesses launch and utilizing AI. So you can use it in regards to making your business function better, right? What
Absolutely.
about diagnostics? Are you doing any hands-on with diagnostics? Are you seeing any changes in that firsthand?
I don't work directly with the diagnostics. I work with practices to implement chronic care programs. But what I understand about AI is it is doing extremely well. Probably is going to pretty much replace a lot of the radiologists that are needed with imaging. Is doing well with utilization management, utilization review. So where they are implementing it right now, it is proven to be super effective. And I know that causes a lot of fear and concern, but I'm the technology digital health champion. And so, when the internet came out, we were equally concerned. When the cotton gin came, we were concerned. Every technology advancement, there was always concern. Yes, it does replace roles, but it creates more roles. So for nurses, is what I tell nurses is a lot of our roles will be replaced, and that's just
No way around it.
So there's no way around it. So not being afraid and resisting it is going to land you next to the person who's going to replace your job, who's using AI. So
I don't know. I have a different opinion. I feel like as we embrace this AI technology, we should understand that it's computers and humans working together and working hand in hand. It's not meant to replace a human, because AI is only as good as the human that's coding it or whatever. So I don't feel that AI, but what I know that it can do is it can use to help make us better as humans. It can help make us more efficient. Matter of fact, the NIH, they have entered their third year into doing this high-tech research with using AI at hospitals. And I was kind of geeked up to find out that this was going on, because, you just think of AI in different areas. You don't think of it used as in hospitals, just like how I was describing, telehealth. No, it circles it all areas, touches all areas in healthcare or whatever. So I saw this story about a patient at a Florida hospital. They were admitted into the ICU. Now, ICU is my background. That's what I've worked since this beginning of my nursing career. And so they had this smart ICU. And so they had sensors and cameras in there, and it's equipped with this smart technology that can detect everything from vital signs to facial expressions and movements in the bed. So, for example, like if a patient has like a grimace on their face, it could let us know, like, oh, maybe that patient's in pain, or if the patient's moving around too much, you could go in there and check. And I just think that's so cool, because, it's like, how everything is set up, you always have to chart in order for, like, this, Tasha, for documentation, you have to document, because billing, that's how you get billed. If it's not documented, how can you bill? So we're spending so much time in all this paperwork. So I feel like the AI technology could just help us be more efficient in our jobs from that perspective. So this is really dope that, the NIH is doing this research, and, they're training their people, and I guess some different hospitals and stuff are testing. I don't think it's like a thing that's, set in practice and stuff, but it's just so nice to see this technology. And yeah, the experts and all the scientists and researchers, supporting it. And, I can't wait to see it in more and more hospitals. So we'll see.
Let me just clarify. It's going to replace task, not knowledge.
Yes.
So
now I agree with you on that.
Task-based roles will be replaced, and you have to bump your level of knowledge up,
right,
so that you can work alongside it. So yeah, you're right.
That's interesting. It sounds like in practice, AI has really revolutionized healthcare.
Yes.
But so there are some cons. People are concerned about breach with confidentiality, because it could be possible that hackers are going to really address or kind of target AI as a way to kind of get in and hack the healthcare systems. So are we concerned about that? Has there been any discussions in regards to that happening?
I think that's probably one of the hesitations for as we adopt AI. I mean, just even look at the government. You got the government. I've been watching the news and stuff. I'm a news junkie. And so they're talking about how they're having conversations and talking about how they can use AI in the government. But, like we're discussing now, there's tons of questions. There's tons of hesitations. You got these people who are, the millennials and the Gen X's and all that, who are like all gung ho, like, yeah, let's get this going. And you got, the baby boomers, the old schoolers and stuff, are kind of like, hold on, because things like that, breach of confidentiality. And I mean, I just feel like you just have to have layers and layers and layers of, IT security and stuff, just like with, Facebook and platforms like this, where the two-factor, authorization, you can't just log into, back in the day, you just log into Facebook. Now, once you log in, it sends a text to your cell phone to make sure it's actually you. So I think with those type of safeguards, it can help people be more secure and safe. But like you guys said earlier, I mean, it's the future, it's coming, it's more, we should have more of the conversation of how can we use this efficiently? How can we use this safely versus just being so resistant, like, oh, I don't want to do it. That's just
so. I was going to ask you, because we have a lot of, nurse practitioners and nurses that are entrepreneurs and just people in business that will watch this live, the replay. Can you give some insight on some of the platforms that you highly recommend in practice and some that will enhance the practice? I know that certain facilities have been approved to use platforms like Doximity. That's very helpful with doing telehealth. And not only can you use it with the organization if you're employed, but you can also use it in the private sector in your own practice. I know, there's different platforms, and you mentioned Chat GPT. I have not utilized that in practice. I have not utilized that in practice. So if you could just share a little knowledge, I understand that you have VIP or one-on-one, and I could respect that. But I think that we have you here on this platform, and we can get just a couple of tips. That would be, very
absolutely. In terms of what I help small business owners use, I'm focusing on the admin and automation tools. Practices, I help them choose EHR systems that have AI functionality in it with the documentation. And then there is a documentation platform, and I'll look it up before the show ends, that a lot of the physicians and nurse practitioners use for their notes. A lot of them are starting to use AI for the notes. But I typically help small business owners with their operations by using stuff like Claude, ChatGPT, Ask PDF, Zapier, helping them automate their operation functions. And on the clinical side, I help practices get demos and choose the EHR systems that are going to have AI built in it already, like with the utilization or the authorization and the intake and things like that. Just to choose an EHR system that has the API function and the AI functions already in them.
Okay, because I'm utilizing aesthetic record. And so someone said, please discuss healthcare and not just social media platforms. So those were a couple of platforms that are used generally, but you're saying specifically it can be used to just help enhance a practice in terms of function.
Yeah, for my business and what I consult clients with on the business consultant side, I focus on how to use ChatGPT to start your healthcare business, how to use it to create documents, prompting, Claude, how to use generative tools like ChatGPT to enhance and 10x your business. You can start, if you're not using ChatGPT, start using ChatGPT. It's going to change.
So yes, I've utilized that for contracts and things like that, but just very limited. You did mention some other platforms. I'm sorry, Nurse Charm. I know you had a question. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I understand, Tasha. You get paid for consultations and stuff, but just put a little bit out there, just so.
Yeah, Claude. I said Claude.
No example.
Claude.
Bard. Google has their own. It's called Bard.Google. These are free.
I've heard of
ChatGPT and Claude AI.
Okay.
If you start, that's the best start. Like, it kind of generates most of what you need. Ask PDF.
Is it free? Is it free to get those, or do you have to pay? Do you have to pay us for subscription? Do you have to pay a subscription, or is it?
You don't have to for the 3 that I listed.
Okay.
They have the paid versions, but the free version is fine. If you're just starting out, it does so much. It does so much.
Is it user friendly? Is it user friendly?
Very user friendly. I took a prompt engineering class, and I took a certification in prompt engineering. And so also when we're speaking about cybersecurity and privacy, these are other opportunities for nurses. This is our time to shine. Because we sit here, we complain, we want everybody to do things a certain way. We got the clinical knowledge. We have get your cybersecurity certification.
Right.
You can self-paced. Get your cybersecurity certification and work for cybersecurity. You already know healthcare. You already know clinical. So you're coming in with a clinical expertise and a cybersecurity certification. So at the end of this, I'm going to give you guys my link in bio. I have 10 IT certifications that nurses, y'all need to be taking advantage of, because these are 6-figure and above remote work, flexible work, and you're using your clinical knowledge, because healthcare is going to look different in 10 years. Like, it's going to look different.
Oh, true.
It's going to look different. And so you're going to have to raise your levels of knowledge, and we're going to have to be incorporating what we know about digital, because we're going to advocate for the patient's privacy. Right. Nobody else is going to advocate for their privacy like we can. Nobody understands how scan and medications, nobody understands the inner workings of what we do. So when a breach happens, you got too many people coming to the boardrooms and making discussions without having the knowledge of what we do. So I have a free list of where you can get IT certifications as a nurse and take your career and knowledge to the next level. Because if you're just doing tasks, you're not going to have a job in 10 years.
And you know, Tasha, that's good that you're putting these ideas out there, because a well-known hospital in my hometown experienced a breach, and that is just horrible, because they're a huge major health system and their patients' information got breached. Can you just imagine that? So hospital healthcare, cybersecurity is so important, and nurses, who are interested in that realm, like you said, in the coming years, with everything advancing to AI or just more technology, we're going to need nurses in that space. And that's a perfect way, to be a contractor and,
Absolutely.
license yourself out. These are my rates. I'll come in and help y'all do
as
this.
A consultant. Yep. As a consultant. You can say, listen, I know I've worked at this hospital 10 years. Yeah. $1 million contract. I can get this all under control.
Right. Could you imagine me? Look, I've been a nurse for 21 years. Can you imagine me coming in and offering? They'd be like, heck yeah, you know what? So market yourself, get yourself out there, never leave any opportunities on the table. Y'all know I was
developers. We need nurses to be taking developing certifications, coding. We need nurses in cybersecurity. Don't sit around and let all these people get these certs and you be out of work. Because utilization management is going to be all AI. So you are nurses, you are nurses, y'all day is a number. So your knowledge is going to have to bump up, because you're doing tasks right now,
So ladies, before we wrap up, and I just love how you guys just jumped right in and gave us all these different suggestions and different avenues to pursue in the healthcare industry, because when you get in your routine and you don't think about how technology is really just changing the way that we're operating and functioning, and like you said, in 10 years healthcare will look completely different. But that was some great input. So as we wrap up our conversation, can you tell us how to follow you guys and do you guys have any projects coming up that we can get involved in, and just let us know what's going on so we can support? That's what this is about, giving knowledge to the community and just, supporting each other, networking, and just trying to engage. So let us know how we can support you. What do you guys have going on?
Well, I am Nurse Charms on all social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Nurse Charms, NURSECHARMS. Please follow me on all my platforms. I'm independent as a contractor. I'm a travel nurse, but also I get hired and I do kind of like a nurse paramedic. I do that type of work at events. So
Love it.
no,
Love
so
it.
yeah, I go there. I have my defibrillator, I have all my equipment, and they hire me out because they have to have, like, per law or zoning and stuff, they have to have some type of medical provider on site in addition to calling the EMS. Like, if you're going to have an event with over 5,000 people or whatever, you have to have somebody on site. So they'll hire me for that. So that's, another role you can do as a nurse. So I'm available for that. I'm available for consultations. You go to my website, you could book a time and we could talk. I'm always doing education, so I'm available to speak anywhere who wants me to come speak. Of course, I'm on the radio. I'm on WJZZ on that platform, and I have my show that's weekly on there. I'm on YouTube. Yeah, so I'm just everywhere. I'm available. I make time. Hit me up. It's about them coins. I'm there. No, but honestly, I love nursing. I mean, you could probably just get that anyways. You can probably just see that, all my passion when I talk about this. But yeah, I just love nursing. So, and I just love the synergy. Like you said, Dr. Natasha, we got to do this again. Yes. Did we get any questions though? Because I just glanced at my Facebook page. I saw a bunch of comments on there, but I didn't get a chance to read them yet.
Terrence was just checking in, telling us, earlier he said he knew both of us. So he was just saying he was heading to Detroit tomorrow. Hi, Terrence. Thank you for showing love and support. He's such a great person. Oh my God. He has such a kind heart. He's so amazing. You said what?
No, that's his thing. I see greatness in you, and he points.
I see greatness in you all over the world.
Right, that's what I was just doing. I was like, I see greatness in you. That's what he does.
Awesomeness. And then it was just someone just asking, pretty much wanting to know more about discussing healthcare and not just social media platforms, which you went over. And there's opportunities to access more information on your platform. So that's really nice. And did you want to give us some information about what you're offering and some things, how we can support you in the future moving forward?
Absolutely. I'm revamping because I've been doing so much business without social media. So I have a link in bio. It's CUTT.ly/YPC link. Those are all of my links. You'll have access to the downloadable 10 IT certifications for nurses. And you're making $100,000 and up. They're certifications that take less than a year or a year. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars for a degree. You can go stay right where you work. You're just at a higher knowledge base. I do have all the information in that link in bio. I have a new TikTok channel. It's at nurse2 consultant. At nurse2 consultant. That's my TikTok channel where I talk about digital healthcare, all the different changes, what nurses need to do to position themselves, because the coins is here in IT.
Love it.
I forgot to say I'm on TikTok also. How did I leave off TikTok? Yes, Nurse Charms on TikTok, but y'all will see me on TikTok having fun. That's like the fun side of me. But yeah, Nurse Charms on TikTok.
So I'm glad we were able to have a discussion about AI. It's like walking a tightrope, right? We're actually embracing it and how it can really impact healthcare, but also concerned about balancing the ethics. With healthcare as well. So it was an interesting discussion, and I am glad that you were able to highlight different positions and input in regards to technology and AI, and also speaking on, remote care, which is something that's very needed. It does enhance access to care. So I am excited to see how that can expand in the future as well. So did you guys have any other input for tonight before we wrap up, ladies? I just want to thank you both for really spending your time on, stepping in on a platform and just like really, sharing your input on technology and AI. I really appreciate you guys.
My tip of the day before we end this is please be careful going in large groups. I know everybody thinks that the virus is over, but y'all overwhelming us at the hospital still. Okay, every night I work, I'm taking care of somebody with COVID. So please just be careful. If you're sick, stay home, go get a test. It's so easy. Go to the drugstore. They have free places. You know, this thing is still going around. It's probably going to be around to the end of eternity, you know, and
Nurse Charms, do you know there's still people that don't think COVID is real?
Girl, all the conspiracy folks, yes. I mean,
girl, bye.
I couldn't help myself.
Right. Right. No, it's real. Trust me, it's definitely real. Okay. But I mean, there's ways that we can protect ourselves so we avoid it, because I'm one of those people. They came out with this term, it's called Novid, Novid. You've never had COVID. Yeah. So I'm actually a Novid, and it just fears my soul. Every time I have to gown up and mask up and put on all this garb to go in a patient's room, because I just be like, oh, I don't want this to be the day that I get COVID. But you know, this is what I signed up for. This is my profession, and you know, I do what I have to do, but I also protect myself. So my whole thing is continue to stay healthy. You know, you could, Tasha, you want to give some tips on how people can stay healthy, because I know you're into natural stuff. I am too, but I want to let you close up too. So
I'm telling y'all, you coughing, a tablespoon of honey. Yeah, honey will stop your garlic, lemon, and honey, and oregano oil and ginger. You cannot go wrong. Elderberry. Take elderberry. They got the elderberry syrup. You can, the pills, whatever. You can't go wrong with having garlic. And when you start having symptoms, take 1 clove of garlic, chew it, or chop it up with some honey and swallow it. But you cannot go wrong with those things. They are equally as effective as the other things that you get from the store. And be proactive about healthy. Don't wait until you get the symptoms. Take the garlic, the lemon water, do this stuff on a daily basis.
Right. What about you?
Right.
You have some tips, Dr. Natasha?
You know what? I just recently made a post because we were being overwhelmed with the amount of patients that we were seeing in the acute care setting in regards to COVID. And so it was at alarming rates, and it was every other patient, almost all patients. I would say about 95% of the patients are coming in with COVID.
Yeah.
RSV or flu-like symptoms, whatever upper respiratory infections. So I did, and many people are traveling. It was the holidays. Everybody's in Ghana right now. I'm pretty jealous, but whatever. But yeah, so I just kind of posted generalized healthcare tips in regards to making sure you're up to date on your immunizations and all of that, and just making sure that you are accessing care as soon as you're finding out that you're having no symptoms, so to prevent spreading illnesses in the community, and just other signs and symptoms to look for. So just pretty much bringing awareness, because COVID is not as severe as it was 2 or 3 years ago in regards to the numerous admissions and the high rates of death, but it is still very much so prevalent. And people are still having hospitalizations from it, and it can trigger other underlying issues as well. So still be careful, still, protect yourself. And as soon as you're feeling symptomatic, call in and get some healthcare professional opinions and recommendations.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, ladies, it's been lovely. I am glad we were able to connect. I wish you guys were out here. I'm having an event, Elevate, in San Diego with a lovely group of ladies. Yes, I am so excited. It will be Sunday. I'll be also doing a mini book signing and speaking. It will be food and beverages and just like really health and promotion, networking. And it's just an amazing event. And I'll also be in Atlanta. Can't wait. Nurse Haskins is having a really nice big women empowerment networking event. She's really strong within the healthcare sector. So her bringing in women and just highlighting a few of the women in the business world and bringing women in together to support each other. And when you go to those events and you show up in the room, it's really, you never know who you're going to meet. And
Absolutely.
I always tell people I've met some amazing people at networking events that have supported me more than people that, you know, I've known for a very long time. Like, it's just like mind blowing, actually. So I'm very grateful for the relationships I was able to build with just networking and showing up and being, you know, just fearless. You have to go. Some people feel like they're having like social anxiety and don't want to go to networking events, but it can be very powerful and it can really impact your career and your journey.
I agree.
Oh yeah. Listen, I could always come out to Cali, girl. I would love it in a heartbeat. So I hate that I'm not there. I gotta work this weekend, but I hate that I'm not there to support your event. But you know, I sending you all good vibes and positive energy
Absolutely.
that everything
Thank
goes well.
you.
But yeah, girl, just let me know. I will get on the plane to come out to Cali. So it's nothing.
All right, guys, let's have a blessed and safe night. And if you want to follow any of us and check out our platform so you can see any information up and coming, and stay blessed, guys. Have a good night.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye.
Natasha.